Senior citizens are and will continue to be a significant part of our population, and while growing older is a part of life, it doesn't mean giving up on hopes, dreams, or wishes. And one organization in southern Indiana is devoted to making seniors' wishes a reality. And joining me now is Jody Farrell, founder of Tri-State Senior Wishes, here to share more about this special effort. Thanks for being here with us,
Thanks
Jody.
for having me.
So first, just tell us about the organization and what inspired its creation.
Sure. We work in this demographic. We have a construction company and then also an in-home care company. So we're pretty much in the trenches daily. And I was meeting individuals, going into their homes in one capacity or another, and actually met a lady who inspired me to want to do more. Her name was Mildred, and I would go into her home, and around 4:30 one day, she said, "You're going to have to leave around 4:30." And I was like, "Why, Mildred? Do you have a hot date?" And she's like, "No." She said, "I don't." She's like, "But I need to turn all of my power off. I need to turn my lights off and my TV off." And I looked at her, and she goes, "It's this time of the year where I need to choose between the electric and my food." And so out of curiosity, I asked her, "Can I please look at your pantry? Do you mind if I take a look?" Because it was concerning to me. I didn't want to just leave her, in a bind. And I did so, and by doing so, I saw that she had a few soup cans, and then she also had just a few little items, that were in her refrigerator. So I went and purchased some groceries for her and some things for her and brought them back. And it just made me want to do more. And so I just started asking, "Tell me a little bit about your past. Tell me who you are." And after getting to know her and some of her stories, there was a lot in life that she just sacrificed or wasn't able to do, and time crept up on her, and before she knew it, it was over. And so I started looking into organizations, maybe to grant her a wish through them, and there just wasn't anything.
So and this is similar to wishes that are granted to children who may be ill, but it's targeted toward the elderly, of course.
Yes.
So you already defined kind of how that happens, how a wish is found, and kind of what are some other scenarios of a senior's wish?
Okay, so they're very broad. Some are very simple. We have a wish that's in the works currently with a lady that she just wanted to get her hair done. Wow. She has a mobility device now, and being able to stabilize herself and do her hair the way she likes it isn't next to impossible. So that was her wish once she was nominated, and I talked to her, and it was, so we were doing a spa day, for her. We have some where they want to go to the beach. They've never seen the ocean, just again, life just goes so fast. And when your focus is on other things besides yourself and your wants, and then before you know it, maybe that's just not feasible for you any longer, to make those trips. Some are reconnection with a loved one or a classmate, or so some are really simple. And then we have other ones that want mobility vans, which we cannot do, by the way. Okay. But there are some very large wishes and then some very simple wishes, and we take all of them.
Wow. And you've got a couple in the works, but you've already granted one.
We have
So
granted
tell me
one.
about that.
Okay, so this gentleman in particular, his wish was to ride a horse.
Is that right?
And
how old was he?
He's in his 80s.
Wow.
So it wasn't something that we were going to be able to facilitate just because I couldn't get the clearance from his physician. So we arranged with Ellis Park, and they were so gracious that we spent a day at Ellis Park, and Billy got to meet the horses and spend time with the jockeys, and we were able to go into the backtrack and just see the inner workings of a day-to-day operation of Ellis Park, and they were just amazing. He had his own VIP section. He got to bet a little bit. Ellis Park gave him a voucher, to bet with. It was really neat. Wow. And it was very, very emotional to me and our team. I feel like we got as much out of that as what Billy did.
And you talked about the lady wanting her hair done. So,
yes.
And there's another one coming up too, right?
There is another one.
Okay.
There was a lady that was nominated in Henderson, and her dream is to stay independent in her home. That was her wish. So we are going to modify her home in order to make that happen for her.
Wow. So if people want you know, and you're based in Evansville, but
We are based in
you are open to basically the tri-state.
It is the tri-state, and we encourage that. I don't want people to feel like, okay, this is a Evansville-based organization and all the funding and all the wishes are just going to be isolated to that area, and that's not the case. You know, our goal is to keep it in our communities, our local communities. So we are a very localized chapter. When I say that, it's just this is the first one, and we're hoping to be able to do this, you know, long term. But we want to keep our funds and our wishes in the areas of where the funding was donated versus, you know, the money is generated here and then we're granting something states away. That's not the case. We're actually going to be, you know, in your communities and your neighbors.
Yeah, so you are a nonprofit, of course.
We are a nonprofit.
Yeah, and
yes.
we said this was new, but
Yes.
so did this just start this year, basically? Or?
Yes, ultimately. We received our status at the end of last year. And then by the time we got cranking and had a board selected and everything, this year it's in its infancy, but it is picking up steam. We've had some amazing backing, you know, when it comes to that. So it's we've got our auction, and we had a lot of sponsors, you know, for that as well.
Okay, so if people do want to get involved, contact you, maybe give financially. How do they do that?
They can go to tristateseniorwishes.org, and there is a donate button that is on there. And then there's also a form on there to nominate someone, and we encourage, you know, people to do that as well.
Okay. Can you kind of walk through that process? I mean, again, kind of describe, you know, kind of the wishes that you're seeing so far.
Yeah, no problem. So a lot of them are traveling. A lot are wanting to go see destinations that they haven't before. So as a wish comes in and they're nominated, I contact them or somebody from our board will contact them, and we try to get a grasp as to what exactly that would entail. And then at our board meeting, we lay them out on the table. And then we take, you know, in account our funding. Again, because we're relatively new, we're able to do some of the simple ones, which are simple to us, but they're not simple to the individual asking for it. Like, this is something that they've longed for or that they want. And then we vote on them collectively as to which ones we can grant, which ones we can't grant. Like I had mentioned before, the vehicles, you know, there's some liability that comes to that. So we wouldn't be able to grant that. But then at that point, we start making the phone calls and try to get a little more of the logistics down and see what we can make happen.
All right, so give me your contact information again. Is there a phone number or just the website?
The website's the best way to reach us. And it has the contact us on there. Our phone number is also on there, but it's tristateseniorwishes.org.
Okay. So what age constitutes a senior citizen? Is there a cutoff?
There's not a cutoff, but there's
I mean,
a beginning.
where's the start? Yeah.
55 and over.
Okay.
Yep.
So I'm eligible. So
You have a wish?
yeah. So several.
Several.
Are finances taken into consideration, or I mean, is there? I mean, it's just.
No, we vote on them each one, and we just take it case by case. You know, there are certain individuals that, you know, could they financially grant their own wish? Maybe, but I feel like this demographic is very selfless. They're at the point now where they're planning for their children. They're planning for other people. So they're not going to take their funds and make that happen. Or maybe they don't have the resources or even know where to start. So there's a lot of individuals that, you know, once I've met them, you know, they're worried about their kids. I want to leave something for them.
Right.
And so we take that in consideration as well.
Okay. So, and you talked about the gentleman who rode a horse, and you had some pictures on your website which were just phenomenal.
Yes.
I mean, So
yes.
And his reaction was just. So he had never been on a horse before, huh?
I don't know that he had. I found out that he spent a lot of time at the track with his friends, and then his friends have since passed. So taking him back to that area and taking him back, it took him back in time. And so it was, like I said, it was extremely emotional for him. and it was very emotional for the rest of us as
Yeah,
well.
I can imagine. Well, Jody Farrell, we thank you for being here with us and talking about Tri-State Senior Wishes.
Thank you for having me.
You can keep up with Tri-State Senior Wishes on their website and Facebook page, and we at Vincennes PBS will also be following their work and sharing updates.